Ready to start.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us for the regular City Council meeting on Monday, July 13th. We officially call this meeting to order. So if everyone can join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice
for all. Thank you so much. How's everyone doing? Mayor Pro Tem, you can continue. I'm on the call.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Looks like we have a quorum, but can you confirm for us, please?
I do. I have Councilmember Wolfley, Councilmember Estev, Councilmember Ndebumadu, Councilmember Harrison, Mayor Pro Tem Boafo, and Mayor Adams.
All right. Thank you so much, Madam Clerk.
Madam Clerk.
Agenda addition, deletions,
Madam Clerk.
amendments.
I see Councilmember Henry. Is that you that's there?
Yes, I was just noticing you didn't call my name.
Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry. So we're all there.
Sounds good.
Right.
At this time, the chair will entertain any agenda additions, deletions, or amendments.
Thanks, Mayor Pro Tem. This is Councilwoman Ndebumadu. I do have an agenda addition that I'd like to introduce.
All right.
Alrighty, I would like to introduce, hold on, just give me 1 second here. Oh, sorry, looking at the wrong thing. My apologies. Yep, okay, so I'd like to introduce proposed council rules. Earlier today, I sent out an email to the rest of the council sharing just proposed rules of procedure for the City of Bowie City Council. So I'd like to add that to our agenda item just to be introduced so that we can possibly start the discussion. In no way meant for us to vote on it tonight or to discuss it in full detail at full length, but just want to introduce it to make sure that it's on our radar for our upcoming retreat and then make it available for residents to view as early as tomorrow or whenever Wilda can get it on the city website, just to kind of like go over our thoughts and see if there's anything that anyone feels or anything that anyone wants to add or take out.
Sounds good. For clarification, do you mind making that an official motion, please?
Oh, yes. I'd like to make a motion to add to the evening's agenda rules of procedure for the City Bowie of Council, for the Bowie City Council as a discussion item for tonight under new business.
All right, and properly moved.
Second.
Then properly moved and seconded. Any objections? Discussion? All right, we'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the motion passes, and we have a new item under new business, item C, which will be a council.
Mayor Pro Tem, can I get clarification of who made the second motion?
Mayor Adams.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
No problem. Thank you.
Sounds great. All right, moving on to citizen participation.
Okay. We have received a total of 83 comments for this evening.
All right, one of you has to fess up. What did you do?
Okay, so here we go. Okay, first one is from Lou Polak from Yarland Lane. A great golf course should be interesting, beautiful, a challenge, depending on what tee box you use, and add beauty and value to the community. That is Bowie Golf Course. I have lived in Bowie 54 years, and I started playing golf at 40 and took lessons from Fred Ryder, the manager at that time. If you never played, you should start. To even think of closing the course to put houses or buildings there would break my heart. The course is very friendly to women and seniors and a challenge for all others depending on the tee box one uses. Tee boxes are placed for various skill level. I know some of you visited the course recently, but have the manager, John, in a cart take you around. Here are my suggestions for renewal of lease. Fix the cart paths. A sprinkler system is needed. Leave the clubhouse as is, except the bathrooms and kitchen needs upgrade. This is not a country club like Rendition or Lake Presidential, which are too hard for women and seniors and twice the cost of Bowie. Plus, Bowie has more rounds of golf played than either of them. Raise the fee to $40 for 18 holes for non-residents and leave the current rates for the residents of Bowie. The city can take and will take an income of $5 per round, which will pay for the current improvements and future improvements. Like the TV program Shark Tank, So City will get investment back. The golf course has not ever cost the taxpayer a dime. All loans and bonds have been paid back to the city. This is a city course, not private like Glendale, Lake Arbor, Upper Marlboro, and Cross Creek, all courses that were privately owned. These courses went under because the owner died, so the state sold it, or lack of play because the course was not kept in playing condition. The land has increased in value from the time it opened around 1959 and sold to city in 1981 to now, and will increase further every year, as you all know. Extend the lease for 10 years or 20 years, then make a determination on the future of golf. As long as there's a Tiger Woods or Phil Mickelson or their replacement golf will be around long after we are long gone. Golf started in 1502 in England and Scotland. As an 82-year-old who golf drives went from 200 to 125 because of age, I still love the game. I have played every public course in Maryland, some private and many military golf courses, and I enjoy Bowie Golf Course the most. Thank you for reading this. Next one is from Ruth Miller from Bosworth Lane. Dear Bowie City Council members, it is my understanding that you will be considering the future of the Bowie Golf Course at your upcoming meeting. This letter is in support of keeping this wonderful area as a golf course. I am a senior citizen living in the B section of Bowie. I have lived in Bowie for 45 years and played golf for the last 20 years. I play golf regularly at the Bowie Golf Course, sometimes 2 times a week. It is a scenic and interesting golf course, rated medium in difficulty. Many ponds make the course beautiful and also challenging for golfers. I often stop to watch the turtles or the ducks enjoying the ponds. The fairways and greens are well maintained. The city has done an excellent job of cutting down dead trees or ones that may fall during a storm. The course is frequented by many Bowie seniors, and a diversified group of players are welcomed there. It has been an excellent outdoor form of recreation during the pandemic. Currently, most of us use separate carts unless we are a family group, and we keep our masks in place whenever we are near other players. The cart path needs to be redone and the clubhouse needs some improvement, but the course itself is in great condition. With some renovations, weddings and other celebrations could take place at the golf club and bring in additional revenue for the city. Please keep this golf course in the budget for the many seniors and others who enjoy this wonderful asset of Bowie. Thank you for your service as a council member. Okay. Next one is from Roland and Ina Foskey from Tapered Lane. Dear Bowie City Council members, as residents of Bowie for over 50 years, we have enjoyed many pleasurable hours playing at Bowie Golf Course. It has been a staple in our community for as long as we remember, even before we began playing golf. The clubhouse, where we have enjoyed retirement parties, bar mitzvahs, life celebrations, and countless holiday outings, has been wonderful to have in our town. The extremely friendly management has always made Bowie members and guests feel welcome. We are in support of keeping this course and continuing with the same accommodating management that community has come to know and love. Next one is from Patricia Ruggiero from Overbrook Lane. Dear Bowie City Council members, I have been advised that you will be considering the future of the Bowie Golf Course. I have been a resident of Bowie since 1967 and have enjoyed playing the course since the early 80s. I write in support of keeping the course open. The course is definitely a plus for the city as well as a source of revenue. With so many area courses having closed in recent years, the course has been and will continue to be extremely busy. The course is currently in wonderful condition, and I'd like to thank the city for the monies they have provided thus far to make improvements. I have heard rumors that some in the city's employ would like to see the course closed and the land developed. What a shame that would be. Once this green space is gone, it is gone for good. Please do not let this happen. I also feel that the current management is doing a very good job, especially during these trying times. Thank you for your consideration in this regard. Next one is from Donna Lafima from Terra Lane. Hello, please save the Bowie Golf Course under the same management. No one could run the Bowie Golf Course like John has all of these years. He is a mainstay in our golf community and does a fantastic job. Thanks. Next one is from Duncan and Terry McGrath. Save Bowie Golf Course under the same management. We frequent the golf course multiple times a week and love playing golf there. Thank you for your consideration. Next one is from Patricia Fickling. To whom it may concern, please save the Bowie course. Thank you for your time. Next one is from Jose Davis. I understand that the future of the Bowie Golf Course will be discussed at an upcoming city council meeting, and also understand there are several options being considered. I wanted to express my support for the continued operations of the course under its current management. Mr. Hoover, the general manager, has, in my opinion, done an outstanding job at creating and maintaining an affordable option for golfers in this area, and it would be shame if this resource were lost. Next is from Monica Coleman. Good day. I am writing to express my wish and desire that the Bowie Golf Club remain open and continue to employ the current staff. I golf at this course at least once a week and practice at least twice weekly. This course allows all of us Bowie residents and others to enjoy a golf course that is very nice and affordable. We need to keep this open and beautiful space in our city. Thank you for your consideration in this matter. Next one is from Diane Rogers. I understand that a Bowie City Council meeting is scheduled for next Monday to discuss options regarding the Bowie Golf Club. I implore you to please seriously consider allowing the course with so much history and recreational value to renew their lease and remain under current management. The general manager there, John Hoover, has been with Bowie Golf Club for over 40 years. Please do the right thing and allow Bowie to keep its beautiful course and allow John Hoover to keep his job for which he has devoted his entire adult life. Thank you for your time and attention. Next one is from Colleen Newman. I'm emailing to let you know that I think Bowie Golf Course should not be sold for development and should keep under the same management. I have been golfing for 3 years now, and I prefer Bowie over all other local courses. I feel that the management is friendly and try to make sure everyone is being helped. Please keep Bowie as is. Next one is from Michael Hauk from Rockledge Drive. I'm a Bowie resident residing in Rockledge. Please save the Bowie Golf Course under the same management. I love that place, and John Hoover is wonderful. Thank you. Next one is from Gary Harash from Kimball Lane. I'm writing in support of keeping the City of Bowie Golf Course under the same management. The golf course provides open space in an ever overcrowding area that adds to our quality of life. It is well managed and maintained. It is an important part of the extensive physical activities available in our city. I am a 50-year resident of Bowie and an active user of the golf course for over 30 years. The golf course is a great asset to our city, and I encourage your support in keeping the golf course under the same management. Next one is from Terrence Stone. I am sending this email with a request to save the Bowie Golf Course under the same management. There are 3 points I would like to make. I started using the golf course as a patron last summer. John Hoover and his staff have been quite friendly and professional. I have not experienced this kind of professionalism at other courses. I also took one-on-one instruction from PGA professional instructor Ross Gelfo. As an educator with 17+ years experience, Ross was an excellent instructor. I can now play with confidence as a result of his instruction. The golf course is one of the many gems that makes Bowie a great place to live. The course is well kept and quite affordable. Please keep it that way. Thank you for taking the time to read this email. Next one is from David Mitchell from Peach Walker Drive. I understand the City Council will consider options for the Bowie Golf Course. Please keep the golf course under its current management. We have played there for a number of years. The management team has been great. The course is a cherished place for exercise and meeting with friends. Next one is from Brian Sullivan. I have been playing golf at Bowie since I grew up a mile or so away, Bowie High School class of 1984, and have continued to play golf there in the years since then. I would like to encourage the city to retain and augment this wonderful old course. With recent closure of Glendale Golf Club, Bowie really has an opportunity to provide a great golf experience at a reasonable price that can accommodate all the residents of the city. Thank you for your consideration. Next one is from Marguerite Spatrini from Ann Arbor Court. Dear Bowie City Council members, Bowie has been my home for 42 years. I chose this area for the amenities such as tennis courts, neighborhood pools, and the golf course. There has been mention of the golf course being used for housing. That would be a great loss to our city. Bowie Golf is not only an open space, but serves our residents of all ages as a place to gather to enjoy the sport. Many of our children took lessons and now enjoy playing with friends and even their parents. A sport for all ages. The current staff is doing a great job. They are welcoming, encouraging, and knowledgeable about the sport, making one want to expand their skills. The city has made improvements, and we hope this continues. It truly is an asset to Bowie. I hope to continue to play and enjoy this course along with my neighbors and friends. Now that other courses have closed, let's not do away with Bowie Golf, which is much appreciated. Next one is from Sean Montgomery. It has recently come to my attention that the Bowie Golf Course lease will expire in September 2021, and the future of the course is uncertain. I urge you to save the Bowie Golf Course under the same management. It is an invaluable resource for the community. Both my aunt and I have taken golf lessons at this lovely course for years and find the instructors to be extremely knowledgeable and welcoming to the sport. It would be a huge loss to the community if this course was closed or if the current staff were replaced. Thank you for your consideration. Next one is from Carolyn Hudson of Majestic Lane. Dear Bowie City Council members, knowing that you will be reviewing the future operation of the Bowie Golf Course on July 13th, I wanted to express my wholehearted support of this facility. I have been a Bowie resident since 1968 and have played our course since 1976. While I am a senior citizen who has enjoyed the opportunity for healthful exercise, therefore, the last 44 years, the Bowie Golf Course has provided the same benefits to younger adults, teens, and young kids. both male and female, in other words, people of all ages. The clientele is ethnically diverse as well. Please do not shut down this great facility, which is a hallmark of our city. John Hoover and his staff are doing a wonderful job with the course and could use additional funding for some needed improvements, as this course, like all others, has aged through the years. Thank you for your thoughtful consideration of keeping the Bowie Golf Course open and running well. Next one is from Tony Lang. One of Bowie's best assets is its golf course. In selecting a place to call home, having a golf course was a deciding factor. Being a senior citizen, outdoor activity is a must for physical health. Besides being a revenue source for the city, it adds prestige to Maryland's best city. Local merchants benefit greatly from people from the surrounding area coming to play golf here in Bowie. Our city must see the golf course as essential. Any discussions concerning its value to the people who live in Bowie must only be to preserve, improve, and keep this wonderful outdoor recreational facility as a golf course. Next one is from Sandra Lamb. I have just learned that our neighborhood Bowie Golf Course may be in jeopardy at the end of its lease expiration in September 2021. I am writing to ask your significant support to facilitate the continuation of this important opportunity for public recreation. I am a new golfer. I picked up the sport and I'm learning the techniques of the game. My husband and I play as a way to get exercise outdoors while practicing social distancing in this unprecedented time. Please protect this public course. As you know, we already lost the lovely Glendale Golf Course last fall. If we don't look out, we will only have the Enterprise, which will in no way serve all of the many local residents who love this sport. Sometimes it's the small things that keep us going even through a time like this. Thank you for listening and thank you for the action you take on behalf of this matter. Next one is from Kateria Reddick. Please save the Bowie Golf Course. It provides meaning to life for so many participants, by it be income, social medicine, or a means to bring the community together. Save Bowie Golf Course. Next one is from Ronald Smith. I, Ronald A. Smith, Sr., do hereby give a brief testimony on behalf of Bowie Golf Course. Having worked at the former Marlboro Country Club in Upper Marlboro, as well as the Marlton Golf Course in Upper Marlboro, which are now closed, we cannot afford to lose another golf course in Prince George's County. The current management team, John and his group, has been doing a phenomenal job as it relates to the operation of the golf course. I highly recommend that this management team continue to operate the golf course so that the public throughout the county and the city of Bowie can enjoy golf outing and family recreation for years to come. Next one is from Catherine Bayerly. Thank you for taking the time to read my email. I respectfully ask that you maintain the Bowie Golf Course with its current management. This golf course provides much needed rest and relaxation for the citizens of Maryland. In these stressful times, the opportunity to see a friendly and familiar face at the golf course and enjoy a round of golf is critically important. Let's respect this tradition and keep the golf course the way it is with its current management. Next one is from Mark Palumbo. I hope this email finds you well. I am writing this email in support of John Hoover and the current management group in their efforts to remain managing the Bowie Golf Course. I understand that the golf course is on the agenda this coming week. First, it is my understanding that there are 3 current options for the course that include shutting it down for development purposes, keeping it open under current management, and keeping it open under different management. With regards to the first option, it would be a disservice to the city to shut it down for development purposes. Besides the overdevelopment issues, the course has long provided a great service, not only to city residents, but also to those golfers that live outside the city, as a friendly, inexpensive, challenging place to play golf, a service that is currently in much higher demand with the closing of other local golf courses, and is not only the golf, but the assistance that the golfers provide to local businesses. Many of these golfers may not come to Bowie other than to play golf. In addition, the course is part of the fabric that is unique to Bowie. My daughter Grace currently lives in Fort Hood, Texas. A friend's husband was recently transferred to Fort Meade, and they decided to rent a home in Bowie. One of the first things that they heard about and loved about Bowie was the local golf course. Myself and many other people that grew up with have been playing the course for years. The course should remain open for new residents and old residents alike. With regards to the management of the course, I strongly recommend that the city renew the current contracts or work out whatever long-term solution that is necessary to retain the current management team. John Hoover is a Bowie guy that has dedicated his life to golf and has been working at and running the course for 40 years. I also grew up in Bowie and am similar in age to John. However, I have only gotten to know John well over the past 3 years, when my youngest son, Noah, retired from playing baseball and picked up a golf club. I now play golf regularly with my son and have had the opportunity to get to know John and observe how John conducts business at the course. His job has not been easy over the past several months because of the number of golfers that have decided to play at Bowie, the COVID-19 issues, and the overall economy. From all indications, the place is thriving, and John has continued to do a tremendous job. Besides getting to watch John manage the course, I also have the benefit of having my oldest son, Matthew, work at the course over the past 3 summers. Matthew works on the course under the immediate supervision of Barry Gilbert. I believe that Mr. Gilbert has been affiliated with the course as the groundskeeper for as long as John, if not longer. We talk about Matthew's jobs, and it is interesting to note that Matthew has only had positive things to say about John and Barry. As a parent, it was and is a relief to be able to send your son to work and have men like John and Barry who foster hard work and a good work ethic, but also treat your son well. This anecdotal example is an indication as to what kind of men are running the course. John and his staff have done a wonderful job at providing top-rate service at an affordable cost. They have come up with a plan through deals and through youth camps to engage younger golfers and develop an interest in the sport. In my opinion, this is going to pay dividends, as it is the rare sport where you can participate and still social distance. With the current popularity of the course and the plans to involve younger golfers, John has developed a plan and a path for further success. Finally, just as I think that the city would be doing a disservice to the citizens of Bowie by closing the course, I also think they would be doing a disservice to the citizens of Bowie and the patrons of the golf course if they were to bring in an outside management firm. As I indicated, John has dedicated his life to the sport. More accurately, he has dedicated his life to the Bowie Golf Course. His commitment and dedication over the past 40 years of the course to the city have helped develop long-standing relationships with vendors, advertisers, employees, and golfers. He has successfully guided the business of the golf course into something akin to a profit-making family affair that also provides a great service and a great benefit to the city of Bowie and its citizens. Thank you for your consideration, and please feel free to share this information with whomever you choose. If you have any questions or would like to discuss the matter further, please feel free to contact me. Next one is from Kenneth Uraxic. Good day to the city of Bowie. I would like to provide my personal input to why I believe the city of Bowie should retain the ownership or management agreement with BGM and Mr. John Hoover. I, Kenneth Uraxic, have been a resident of the Bowie area since 1976 and have been playing the local beautiful Bowie Golf Course since I came to the area. It is a fair test for all levels of golf skill at a most reasonable fee. I have played both in a league for over 30 years, as well as some of the charity fundraisers over the years, and always enjoyed my time at the Bowie Golf Course. It also has been an awesome environment to meet many local residents, as there always seems to a friendly atmosphere when you are at the Bowie Golf Course. The management team has always been very courteous and friendly to all patrons. Mr. John Hoover makes one feel welcome. Over the years, the course has been renovated and it is in great shape today. It is a beautiful open space and it adds such a great amenity to the city of Bowie residents, whether they play golf or not. I have always recommended local citizens visit this great amenity and walk a few holes when the course is available to see what they have right in their own backyard. I would hate to see another housing development or anything else as a future use of the golf course property. I personally worked in the housing industry for over 30 years as a real estate banker, and yes, property taxes generate revenue, but also bring many other issues. More density is not always a good thing. Let's keep Bowie Golf Club open and a great amenity for all its residents and evening those who come from neighboring areas to enjoy this excellent and fun golf course. Next one is from Odessa Scott, coordinator of the Sunday Divas League, LPGA Southern Maryland Amateur. Dear Bowie City Council, my name is Odessa Scott, coordinator of LPGA SM Amateur Chapter and a longstanding Bowie, Maryland resident. I am writing on behalf of my beloved Bowie Golf Club and its management. My golf group, LPGA Sunday Divas, began our league at Bowie Golf Club in 2013. When we first met Mr. John Hoover and his staff, we knew immediately that this would be home for our Sunday Divas League. Mr. Hoover and his staff are the most professional, accommodating, and people-friendly of all the golf clubs in the Bowie, Upper Marlboro, Waldorf, and DC area. The golf course is always nicely maintained. The restrooms are impressive and carts are cleaned. In playing with other women golf groups in the area, my Bowie Golf Club is always spoken with high regards. It is rewarding and gratifying to know that the city of Bowie has its own golf course, especially when speaking to those who are looking to purchase or downsize their homes. Now it is my understanding that it is time for my Bowie Golf Club to renew their lease. I know without a doubt that you will renew the lease to Mr. Hoover, seeing that he has devoted more than 40 years of his life to our beloved golf course. He has put a lot of hard work and dedication into the upkeep of the course and maintained a wonderful, dedicated staff that represents our beautiful city of Bowie. Bowie requires the best, and Mr. Hoover Bowie Golf Club is the best. I await your decision, and I know that you will make the right decision to renew the lease to Mr. Hoover. As a matter of fact, you need to consider enhancing the course, seeing that his intake of golfers has increased tremendously. Next one is from Rich Comstock. It has recently come to my attention that the lease for the Bowie Golf Course expires in September, and that City Council will determine the future of the golf course. I grew up in Bowie, played on the Bowie High golf team, and have spent many hours playing golf at our course. I hope City Council decides to renew the lease under the current management. Next one is from John Godfrey. Not in favor of closing of Bowie Golf Course. Love everything about this facility, including the professional staff. Next one is from Kim McDermott. Please, please, please keep the golf course in Bowie. I moved to Bowie 33 years ago and tell everyone I don't want to leave. I have everything from the golf course to parks and trails and pools and playhouses and movie theaters, restaurants and shopping and churches. Bowie is special. It's not overgrown like other places are getting. Why put more stress on our roads, schools, etc.? I can't stand to see more houses being built for what? Bowie is the suburbs, not a city. I use the golf course and now my grandson does. It devastates me to see what they want to do. Please rethink and consider the community, our youth, our Bowie. Kim McDermott, a Bowie homeowner since 1984. Next one is from Tamika Washington. My name is Tamika Washington, and I have been a resident of Bowie for 10 years. I first want to thank the city for helping to promote and support the Bowie Vigil, the interfaith discussion on race and faith, and the most recent event, Parenting Your Way Through 2020, which highlighted the resources offered by Bowie Youth and Family Services in a virtual discussion and Q&A with local parents. I believe these events have been a benefit to the community and would like to continue organizing such events as we navigate through these unprecedented times. I am writing to request the City Council approve a proposal for regular city-hosted virtual events to support not just me, but anyone in Bowie who would like to host such community-based events. Thank you for your time. Next one is from Jean Rotman from Ramsgate Lane. Dear Bowie City Council, I've never written a letter to the City Council before, but I was so upset when I heard some council members were considering selling off Bowie Golf that I felt compelled to write and tell you how important the golf course has been to my family. When we were transferred to this area, we had choices of which communities to move. We chose Bowie because of the amenities it offered. There is a park, a pool, an elementary school, middle school, and a golf course within walking distance of our home. The city gym, ice arena, senior center have all been used by my family, and we would hate to lose any one of them. But the golf course is special, and that beautiful green space can never be recouped if given over to housing. My husband has been playing golf at Bowie for 36 years. I learned to play along with our 3 boys. The boys played on the high school golf team at Bowie, and several of them had summer jobs at the course. Our grandchildren are on the same path, playing and working on the course. We've been part of the men's and women's leagues, attended retirement parties and election celebrations at Bowie Golf. With so many of the area golf courses closing, Bowie has drawn golfers from all over. The course has been packed this summer. With some loving care from the city, John Barry and the crew have done a great job, and we would like to see Bowie Golf available for many more years. It's a bigger asset to the community than more houses would ever be. Please save our beautiful golf course. Next one is from Michael Davis. Good afternoon. Please save the Bowie Golf Course under the same management. We love that place, have been going there for 50 years. Thank you. Next one is from Kenneth Rothermel. I have been a member of the Bowie Golf Course for the past 10 years and a resident of Bowie since 1970. The course is in need of restoration. Please support the plan that was presented last year. Also, please support John Hoover, the current manager, to continue in the management of the course. Thanking you in advance for your consideration. Next one is from Dinah Kunert. Dear Bowie City Manager Alfred Lott, please save the Bowie Golf Course by keeping it under the same management. It would be a shame to see the property sold off and developed. It would be better to renew the lease and remain under the current manager, resident of the M section. Next one is from Luis de Orsano. I cannot attend the council meeting tomorrow night. However, myself and many other of my golf friends are opposed to any development of the golf course. The golf course is an excellent activity for us seniors, especially since some of the courses have closed. Please pass this on to Councilman Wolfley. Next is from Stacy Hall. Dear City Council members, I've recently heard there is a meeting tomorrow to discuss the future of the Bowie Golf Course. I have lived in Bowie my entire 55 years, and over the past several years have thoroughly enjoyed learning to play golf at the course. I now frequent Bowie Golf Course 2 to 3 times a week. It is a really nice course with some fantastic yet challenging holes. Losing the course would be so upsetting to many community members. The course has been a staple to many residents. I always tell people, once you live in Bowie, you rarely ever want to leave. As you know, Bowie is a tight-knit family, and many people would be at a loss if the course closed. And as I'm sure you've witnessed, many senior citizens use the course. I am asking that you seriously take into consideration the history and importance of the course to many. Thank you. Next one is from Joy Wolf, the founder and director of SWS Sisters and Swing Golf Association. Dear Council, it is of great honor to thank you in advance for the continuance of Bowie Golf Club, the golf course that keeps giving life for those who enjoy our lives. Bowie Golf Club, under the management of John Hoover, has been a gift to those who care to learn about the game of golf. Golf offers so many avenues toward life, and for those who select golf as a profession, it is not one of the easiest sports to master, but it is the one activity we have with us for a lifetime. My name is Joy Wolf, founder, director of both SWS Sisters Who Swing Golf Association and SWS Junior Golfers. Sisters Who Swing Golf Association advocates for new golfers, for women regardless of their skill set to come out and learn and enjoy the golf lifestyle. Each season since we have had Bowie Golf Club as our home course, the membership has doubled. SWS Junior golfers are introduced to the game of golf as a vehicle for higher education, mind-sight goals, and community service that will produce productive citizens. We have been able to reach at-risk communities to come learn the game. Each season has grown by leaps and bounds with our summer camps and programs. Bowie Golf Club is a staple of the community. It serves a diverse population of golfers. John Hoover knows about golf, management skills, people skills, knows the community, has the commitment to the community awareness, the love and joy and respect for the game of golf. I hope you will take my letter under consideration, that Bowie Golf Club remains that staple in the community and that John Hoover remains management of the course. His 40 years of service is evidence of his love and dedication to this sport. During these trying times with COVID-19, golf is an activity that can be a relaxing an outlet for all to enjoy. This will not be the time to think about closure of a virtual entity of the community. I thank you in advance for maintaining the course, and John Hoover, stay safe and be protective. Next one is from Paul Gottlieb. To whom it may concern, I recommend that those considering the future of the Bowie Golf Course consider its impact by visiting the course on any day year-round. Even better, visit the course today as we all deal as a community with the challenge of the virus. How many other institutions are there that are contributing as much to our ability to cope? There is no other golf course in this area that supports seniors as much as Bowie. Come out and see the diversity of the clientele by age, by ethnicity, by gender, and the respect and courtesy that is shown to all. Would these benefits to the Bowie community be retained if someone other than local interests are running the club? I think not. Next one is from Dare and Clyde Drawn from Viewpoint Lane. City Council members, my husband and I are longtime residents of Bowie, 50 years, and have enjoyed the Bowie Golf Course for at least 25 years. We would like to add our voices in support of keeping the course under the same management. It is a wonderful place for all ages and abilities. Save the course. It would be very sad to see this beautiful and welcoming space converted to more development and housing. Next one is from Carrie Cartonia. Dear City Council members, I've recently heard that there is a meeting tomorrow to discuss the future of the Bowie Golf Course. I have lived in Bowie for 13 years and over the past several years have thoroughly enjoyed learning to play golf at the course. I now frequent Bowie Golf Course 2 to 3 times a week. It is a really nice course with some fantastic yet challenging holes. I also am a PGCPS golf coach. The course has been a great place for new golfers to learn the game and hopefully make golf a lifelong activity. These young student athletes deserve a course close to home where they can build sportsmanship and discipline. They learn etiquette and respect for the game and others. Losing the course would be so upsetting to many community members. The course has been a staple to many residents. I always tell people, once you live in Bowie, you rarely ever want to leave. As you know, Bowie is a tight-knit family and many people would be at a loss if the course closed. And as I'm sure you've witnessed, many senior citizens use the course. I am asking that you seriously take into consideration the history and importance of the course to many. Thank you. Next one is from Bill Brandt. I am emailing in protest against the potential closure of the course. We are residents and use the course regularly. Next one is from Kenny Hall. I 100% support keeping the golf course open and John in charge of the operation. Next one is from Robert Pallone. The Bowie Golf Course should remain open for everyone. Bowie residents, young and old alike, enjoy the fresh air, the game, and just having fun. It serves as an outlet for many and enhances the city, making it the place to reside. John Hoover and staff have done a wonderful job providing a healthy outlet, whether you choose to walk or ride. So keeping the course open requires some serious thought. Reference whatever you do. I'm aware that there are money matters that come into play too, but the course will attract people, keep property values up, and make it an all-around city place to be. So keep this golf course open. You will be glad you did as we move forward in this 21st century. I am an 85-year-old Korean veteran who enjoys playing the course, only 9 holes, twice a week. Enjoyed an over 50 league in late fall and winter. That's temperature, not age. Over 50 degrees we play. Thank you and God bless for serving the city in whatever capacity. Not an easy job. I admire all of you. Next one is from Fred Robinson. It is my understanding that City Council is reviewing plans for the Bowie Golf Course. That is great. The golf course is a city treasure. As an amateur golfer, I have enjoyed the humbling experience of playing there, and I know why the people that created the game named it golf. All the other 4-letter words were taken. The Bowie Golf Course is part of the great tradition that is Bowie. The current management team under John Hoover have done a great job with the facility, and they are incredibly gracious hosts to all that play there. They host daily activities and numerous tournaments that have brought joy to generations of Bowie residents. I cannot begin to estimate the number of young folks from Bowie High School golf teams, as well as numerous other schools that have enjoyed free professional support and, more often than not, complimentary access to the course. Mr. Hoover is the current leader of the band at Bowie, and he is a proud successor to decades of great leadership there. As public courses continue to disappear, it is now more necessary than ever to keep this course open and part of our great city. It would also be my strong recommendation that the city do everything it can to keep Mr. Hoover's team in place. He and the team have a great record of service to the city. Buoy is great. Let's keep the proud traditions going. Thanks again for all you folks at City Hall do for us. It is noted and appreciated. Next one is from John Davenport. As a frequent golfer and a member of the senior men's group playing 3 times a week at Buoy, I fully support the continued operation of the Bowie Golf Course as a golf course under the current and effective management of Bowie Golf Management and John Hoover, PGA. Next one is from Charles Garner. I have been a resident of Bowie for 47 years. Bowie Golf Course has provided me and my family many years of enjoyment, from playing with friends and family and playing in Sacred Heart Council Knights of Columbus League with my father for many years. Keeping the same management and finishing the renovations to the clubhouse and cart path would ensure continued success for the club and citizens of Bowie for many years to come. Next one is from Evan Davey of Lossford Road. I am a regular annual member of the Bowie Golf Course. As a senior golfer, I continue to enjoy being a part of the senior golf group. With membership open to all seniors, I have developed good friendships there. Even in the time of the COVID-19, John Hoover and his staff have developed procedures to keep it safe to play golf at Bowie. I have noted the improvements to the course over the past couple of years and appreciate the city's efforts to make golf at Bowie fun for golfers of all abilities. I very much hope that Bowie will continue its partnership with John and his group. Next one is from Larry Crum. I am writing in support of keeping the Bowie Golf Course open and under the management of John Hoover. I have played golf at Bowie for the last 17 years and have found all staff and participants to be cordial and welcoming. As we have lived through parts of the pandemic, having the golf course reopen has been a healthy relief. With so many other local golf courses closing, I strongly request that Bowie remain to be a golf haven for those of us who have limited outlets for exercise and mental health. Next one is from Tiffany Garner. Dear City Council members, as you discuss the importance of the Bowie Golf Course, please primarily keep in your mind that green open space in the community is essential to the well-being of all community members. Along with a wonderful place for me to exercise, the Bowie Golf Course provides trees, shrubbery, and well-maintained lawns for an abundance of insects to pollinate and animals to thrive as they leave a positive environmental impact on our community. An important benefit of the Bowie Golf Course is the social and health impact it has had on my life. I am a proud graduate of Bowie High School and a 28-year resident of Bowie, residing in the Northview area. I left for college and returned to raise my family in a strong, family-oriented community that meets many diverse needs. My children graduated from Bowie High School and remained local after their college experiences. We have experienced many wonderful celebrations for my husband, their father, at the Bowie Golf Course. In the past 2 years, I have taken up casual games of golf with a group of Bowie women. Recently, we have played the course on a weekly basis. As I engage in a cardiovascular workout, I am able to maintain and further develop relationships while playing the game. The appearance of the Bowie Golf Course from Bowie Laurel Road is an important environmental aspect to our community. Have you stopped to see the turtles in the pond? Did your blood pressure drop a tad bit as you relaxed into the space? The lush greens and full foliage allow animals to cohabitate with us, which adds value and wonder to the community. Additionally, the expanse of the golf course serves as a break in a fire line if ever there was a hazardous fire catastrophe. The Bowie Golf Course is more than just a recreation space. As elected board members, I encourage you to think about the important benefits the Bowie Golf Course has on the Bowie community. Regardless of age or type of player, the social health aspects and environmental aspects are cornerstones to a stellar community, and that community is the Bowie community. Next one is from Paul and Roberta Smith, Bowie voting residents for the past 50 years. City of Bowie City Council. The council should take all means necessary to keep, maintain, and upgrade as much as possible the Bowie Golf Course. This course serves as a very diverse group of golfers who appreciate what the city has done and hopefully will continue to do with and for the Bowie Golf Course. There are seniors, juniors, middle-aged, men and women who regularly enjoy the course. A visit there will show what I mean. With the unpopular closing of Glendale, Patuxent Greens, and Cross Creek, Bowie has become even more important to our population. The course is not something that has to be developed. It is there already. Over the past years, John Hoover and the city have done an excellent job in managing the facility. We, of course, do need to continue the path of these improvements that have occurred over the recent years. John Hoover has been particularly instrumental in these improvements and in seeing that the clientele that uses the course are well served. With some well thought out major enhancements, the course could be an even bigger draw for money-making events and tournaments. Let's save, preserve, and enhance the amenities that are central to Bowie and important to its residents. Next one is from Frank Rose of Knowledge Lane. Bowie City Council. I am very concerned, shocked, and disappointed to hear of the possibility of the city selling the Bowie Golf Course. Bowie provides and maintains recreation facilities for our youth for their enjoyment, and I strongly support that endeavor. However, I believe it is indefensible not to also supply recreational facilities for those at the other end of the age spectrum, our senior citizens and retirees. In fact, I believe the golf course can be and also is used by our youth. The Bowie course definitely should not be sold, since there are currently no public courses of its size nearby. There is a small course at Crofton, Walden. However, Bowie is big enough to hold major tournaments, and the Crofton course is not. When revenue for our city is considered, I believe the course is a money maker and not a money drain. If we want a winner, we should support keeping the course under the current management. Under the current management, the course is a revenue generator. As previously stated, let the city support the current management and go with a known winner rather than gambling on some other use for the course, which could result in a revenue loss for the city. Thank you for considering my thoughts. I hope it will be found that Bowie keeping the golf course under the current management will be in the best interest of the city and all the residents. Next one's from Bob Snyder. Please ensure the lease is renewed and the course remains under the control of the current management. I have been a Bowie citizen for over 40 years. The course provides a much needed respite from all the day-to-day routines of living in the current pandemic era. Furthermore, any development of this property would greatly increase the traffic congestion on Route 197 and have a negative impact on the future of the current members of the City Council. Next is from...
Wilda, sorry to interrupt. How many more do you have to go? And do you want like a 3-minute break?
I'm probably about halfway, I think.
Can I move that we give Wilda like a 4-minute break if she needs one to grab water or something? Do you want to keep going, or are you okay?
I'm good to keep going.
No, never mind then. Cool.
Okay. Thank you, though. Okay, so the next one is from Tim Walsh from Holiday Lane. I was in shock when I received an email stating that the city of Bowie is considering closing Bowie Golf Course. It is my understanding that if the course is closed, the land will be used for more housing developments. I have been a resident of Bowie since 1985, and I have always thought of the Bowie Golf Course as a staple of our community, much in the same way as the Bel Air Mansion or the Bowie Racetrack. I have seen our community population grow at a staggering rate over the years. And now, more than ever, traffic can be a nightmare on routes 301, 450, and 197. All surrounding golf courses in Prince George's County have closed, with BGC being the sole survivor. Bowie Golf Course is a huge recreational source to many residents of Bowie and Prince George's County. So please continue to keep the course going, and please keep John Hoover as general manager. I know that John has dedicated his life to BGC, and it's a shame to see this all end in the name of so-called progress. Thank you for your time. Next one is from Clayton Saltzman. My name is Clayton Saltzman. I have been a resident of Bowie for most of the last 31 years. I would like to vehemently express my support for any plan to keep the Bowie Golf Course open. I would also like to strongly express my support for the current management team led by John Hoover. Bowie Golf Course has been my favorite course to play over the last 30 years for several reasons. I have always been treated well by Mr. Hoover and the staff at the course. It is close to home, and it is easy for me to play with my friends from the local community. The grounds crew led by Barry has done a great job of keeping the course in good condition. I think now would be a particularly bad time to consider closing the Bowie Golf Course. I appreciate the diversity of our community, and in recent years, I have seen more and more people of all ethnicities playing at the course. I am also greatly encouraged by the number of women and the number of children that I have seen playing at the course in recent years. Clearly, this course is providing valuable recreation for the people of our community. I would also like to mention a couple of other points in support of Bowie Golf Course and the current management. The course provides healthy recreation for a very large number of seniors. It is impressive that the course hosts 3 leagues per week exclusively for seniors. Mr. Hoover has done a great job of promoting youth golf. The benefits of golf for youth are immeasurable. The game promotes sportsmanship, discipline, good judgment, self-control, and respect for others. I wish I had learned the game when I was young. I would also like to highlight recent trends at the golf course to support its continued operation. The course has been very busy recently, and it can clearly continue as a profitable operation. Other courses nearby have closed while the demand for golf has stayed strong. The course has been constantly busy since courses in Maryland were allowed to reopen in early May. The recent COVID-19 situation has greatly increased the demand for healthy outdoor recreational activities that can be conducted with safe social distancing. I sincerely believe that closing this course would be a terrible mistake and a huge loss to the Bowie community. Mr. Hoover is the right man to continue the successful operation of the course. Please do not take this valuable asset away from us. Next one is from Bill Schaefer. I and my family have lived in Bowie area for over 35 years. I'm sort of a transplant from St. Louis, Belgium, Ireland, Tanzania, and I'm shocked that you don't realize what a wonderful area you and your forefathers have created in Bowie. There currently is plenty of room for housing, so why even consider eliminating your wonderful golf course? 3 public courses have recently closed in this area, leaving only Walden as an alternative. Walden is a small course with no possibility of a tournament. Bowie has the potential of growth to an even larger course. The super management of Bowie now makes this course a viable business that can fully grow and become even more lucrative. You must remember why previous management consolidated such a large area for Bowie, and I believe it is because of its location to the Washington, D.C. area. Bowie Golf Course, under its current management, can grow ever more expandable and profitable. We seniors living in this area also need solid ways to exercise regularly. Please keep this beautiful Bowie Golf Course open. Next one is from Ronnie Tillman. It would be a great loss to lose the Bowie Golf Club because it would destroy all the open space that so many residents enjoy. If homes are built, where will residents go for open space to enjoy walking and just enjoying this green area? I have been a member of the golf course for many years, and it would be a great loss to Bowie to destroy this beautiful course. Please vote to save this special area. Next one is from Betty Habershon. Bowie City Council, please save the Bowie Golf Course, renew the lease, and maintain the current management that has done an outstanding job for over 40 years. The employees have worked hard to support the community, and we hope that their jobs are maintained. Our community needs public facilities that support the health and welfare of all members of our community, especially families. Families within Prince George's County should have facilities within our county to support our recreational needs. Next one is from Bennett Garner. To the council members representing our great city of Bowie. My name is Bennett Garner, and I am 23 years old. I write to you today in reaction to the rumors I've heard about the proposed future for the Bowie Golf and Country Club. While I've heard of proposed options to restructure management for the course, which I am open to learn more about, I am alarmed at the fact that there was a proposal to completely shut down the course because its use appeals more to those who reside outside of the Bowie community. Aside from 2018, early 2020, living in St. Mary's County for employment purposes, I have lived in Bowie for my entire life, since 1996. From my young years to present day, my parents have encouraged me to engage in multiple activities, such as sports, clubs, festivals, and other events in the Bowie community, in an effort to expand my social horizon with people. From playing on the baseball diamond, soccer fields, and basketball courts at Black Sox Park, Allen Pond, Fox Hill, to being a part of youth leadership of Bowie, and to attending Bowie concerts, festivals at Allen Pond, I've been able to accomplish the goal of developing friendships because of these opportunities our city has to offer its citizens. I believe Bowie Golf and Country Club is no different. It acts as a central resource for people to gather and share a common interest. I recently moved back to the city of Bowie about 2 months ago because I love this area and the features it provides, its members, and one of those features includes having a golf course just 10 minutes away from my house. Since moving back and continuing my passion for golf, I've stimulated the interest of 5 of my good friends who all reside in the Bowie area to pick up the great game of golf. Sure, they might not be the best golfers, but seeing their determination to become better is something you can't put a price on. Golf is trending in the younger community more than you know, and Bowie Golf Club presents the best of both worlds for younger generations, affordability and quality. Bowie Golf Club is hands down the most affordable course in the nearby area, offering a low-value round that provides some challenge and scenic views for golfers of all skill levels to enjoy. The removal of this course would be saddening to all residents, but really to the ones who are just beginning their young adult lives in this city. People are moving to this city because of its suburban location and its vast variety of businesses to serve the needs of the people. I appreciate your time reading my thoughts. Thank you for your continued efforts to serve the citizens of this great city in the best possible way. Next one is from Dave Stewart. Dear sirs, I've lived in Kenilworth section of Buoy for 41 years. I'm voicing my concern of any action to eliminate our local golf course. We have one of the few courses in the area, as I'm sure you're aware. John Hoover and his staff do a great job of running it and keeping it up. The city needs more open space, not less. Next one is from Tom Holland from Norway Place. I have been living in Buoy and playing Bowie Golf Course for over 40 years and hear rumors that the course will be done away with for development. What a huge mistake that would be for many reasons, least being the elimination of open space and the creation of massive traffic problems. The current manager, John, and head groundskeeper, Barry, have done a phenomenal job of keeping the course playable and in reasonable condition. I highly recommend that the property remain as a golf course and that John and Barry continue in their current roles. What a real injustice to the citizens of Buoy if the course is developed. If you want to discuss this issue in more detail, please let me know. Next is Jessica Keegley, an M section resident. Dear City Council members, I've recently heard there's a meeting tomorrow to discuss the future of the Buoy Golf Course. I have lived in Buoy for the last 18 years and have just recently taken up golf. Between my husband and I, we are there 2 to 3 times a week. Losing the course would be so upsetting to many of us Buoy residents. The course has been a place to relax and have a little fun, especially these days. Please also take into consideration that the course is utilized by many of our more active seniors. Buoy takes such good care of our elderly citizens. Don't take this away from them. Thank you for listening. Next one is from Chris Keegley. I understand there is a meeting in reference to the golf course future. I just wanted to add that myself and several friends that are all residents of Buoy play at this course 5 to 6 times per month. Losing this course would be heartbreaking. I am 48 years old, raised in Buoy. I have played here my whole life. Please consider leaving things the way they are. Change is not always better in our lovely town. Thanks for the consideration. Next one is from Rachel Love, City of Buoy resident. To whom it may concern, I have heard that there is talk regarding closing the Buoy Golf Course, and I am asking you to reconsider this decision. This golf course is an attraction for both Buoy residents and members of neighboring communities. This golf course has also been a significant part of my family's history here in Buoy, as both my father and grandfather were once staff at the golf course. I believe this golf course needs to stay as an entertainment option for the community, as there are not much things left to do. Housing options around Buoy have become so abundant that it is getting overcrowded. If there is talk about turning the golf course land into more housing, I strongly urge you to reconsider. Next one is from Mark Vogel. Hey, don't close the golf course. Thanks. Next one is from Dan Beeler. To whom it may concern, I am contacting you in regard to the discussion around closing the Buoy Golf Club. As a lifetime member of the Buoy community, I have golfed regularly at the course for close to 15 years. Though you believe that the course is used by more outsiders than community members, my friends and I have used this course as a haven for great times and making memories. Though there may be a lot of outsiders coming to the club and using it, I know that the local economy benefits from the usage. Restaurants like Old Buoy Town Grill, Chesapeake Grill, Lito's Pizza, etc. all benefit from tired and hungry golfers eating at their establishments after a long day on the course. Again, as a lifetime member of the community and active voter in District 2B, the 4 Wolfleys District, I encourage all of you to reconsider closing down the course. Thank you for your time and consideration. Next one is from Jay Beeler. To whom it may concern, I am contacting you today in regards to the discussion surrounding the closure of the Bowie Golf Club. As a father of 2 sons, all being lifetime members of the community, we have all used this club on a multitude of occasions with a variety of different people. Family, friends, peers, co-workers, and I have been using this club as a resident for 40 plus years, and none of us can imagine the city of Bowie without it. I am currently involved in a league for District of Columbia firefighters that takes place at the Bowie Golf Club every Tuesday. I know many other firefighters that play in this league that are members of the community that feel the same way. Not only this, I know that the league brings money to the local economy. Many of my peers get breakfast at the local Dunkin' Donuts, Burger King, and many other places. Local gas stations receive support, and restaurants see an increase in foot traffic at least once a week. As an active voter in District 2B, the Fort Worth Lease District, I want you all to be aware of the strong feelings of disagreement your constituents have. I encourage you all to reconsider any plan of action involving the closure of the Bowie Golf Club. Thank you for your consideration. Next one is from Charlie Seabrook. With the future of Bowie Golf Course and the management of the course under review, I would like to share my thoughts with the council. I am a resident of Calvert County and drive 40 to 50 minutes on average 3 times a week to play golf at Bowie Golf Club. I do this for a number of reasons. The management of Bowie Golf Club has been in place for years and works well with the local community and the golf community. During my membership time at Bowie Golf Club, Mr. Hoover is customer focused and does everything he can to make sure anyone golfing or renting the facilities receives his undivided attention. In partnership with the City of Bowie and the Bowie Golf Club team, the course has seen a number of improvements over the last few years. I feel that Mr. Hoover has been instrumental in identifying many of the changes and working with the city on a plan to make the improvements. I remain optimistic that additional improvements will make the playing experience even better. Mr. Hoover does everything he can to make everyone's experience at Bowie Golf Club enjoyable. Should the City of Bowie decide to invest in additional improvements to the Bowie Golf Club facility, Mr. Hoover is the man you want to work with. If Bowie Golf Club is to remain a mainstay of the community, I would strongly advise keeping Mr. Hoover as the manager of Bowie Golf Club. Thank you for your time. Next one is from Kevin Daniels. Save the Bowie Golf Course under the same management. Thanks. Next one is from Larry Bloom, President of Senior Golf at Bowie. I write you to support continuing the existence of Bowie Golf Course. 3 local golf courses have closed in the past year with only 2 affordable courses available now for the average golfer. Bowie Golf Course is now loaded with players every day, so money should not be an issue. John Hoover should also continue to run the course. Next one is from John Haggerty. Hi there. I grew up in Bowie and would love for you to save the golf course. I know there are lots of great supporters of the course, and John Hoover and team have done a nice job of keeping things going. Golf is a great community activity, and being able to keep an activity like this in Bowie is a great thing. Providing the financial support necessary to build up the course clubhouse, John Hoover and the team can do a great job. Thanks much. Next one is from Matt Beeler. To whom it may concern, please note that I respectfully disagree with the City of Bowie's consideration to close the Bowie Golf Club. For years and still today, friends, family, and myself have found the golf course as an opportunity for us to come together and share time, building a larger sense of community for our city. Without the golf course, this becomes one less recreational area for members of the Bowie community to come together and partake in fellowship through sport, something that I and many others hold close to the heart. With that being said, there are many reasons in which I oppose the closure of the Bowie Golf Club and strongly encourage the city to reconsider the possible decision to close down the course. Thank you. Next one is from Gabriela Sinkovic, Student Service Coordinator, PGA Golf Management. Bowie City Council, my name is Gabriela Sinkovic, and my family and I have been proud City of Bowie residents since I was born in 1992. My experience with Bowie Golf Course starts during my high school years at Bowie High School, 2006 through 2010. I am writing this letter to share my love and support for Bowie Golf Course and their PGA professional, John Hoover, and its continued success as a beloved golf course in Bowie. As I began playing high school golf for Bowie High School, John Hoover took me under his wing as my golf instructor and helped me succeed as a strong and vital member of the team by my junior and senior year. I was also asked to work full-time at Bowie Golf Course in the summers as outside operations support, which actually still continues today when I return home for breaks in my job in Raleigh, North Carolina. To say that John, the regular members at Bowie Golf Course and the atmosphere it provides to all that play there has shaped my life is an understatement. I decided to pursue a career path in the golf industry as a PGA professional and graduated from North Carolina State University with a degree in PGA golf management in 2014. Some of my job experiences include TPC Potomac in Potomac, Maryland, Bandon Dunes Golf Resort in Bandon, Oregon, Interlachen Country Club in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and the PGA of America headquarters in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Currently, I am the Student Services Coordinator for North Carolina State's PGA Golf Management Program, hoping to mentor young PGA professionals as John Hoover and Bowie Golf Course did for me. I hate to hear of all the uncertainty around Bowie Golf's future, as I truly consider it one of my happiest places to be. The warm local mom and pop atmosphere it provides to golfers, new and old, to the game is what makes everyone come back. Not to mention the fun and demanding golf course design. Because of the loss of so many other local golf courses, especially during the times of COVID-19, Bowie Golf Course is busier and healthier than ever before. Please consider Bowie Golf Course as the historic and beautiful haven for residents that it has come to be. I have no doubt of its success, especially now that John Hoover is leading their team. Thank you for listening to my perspective, and I hope you make the right decision for the City of Bowie residents. Next one is from Leslie Davis. John Hoover is a terrific guy and the right guy for Bowie Golf Course. So whatever happens, he should remain the guy. Simply, it's always about money, revenue, profit. The ladies departed from there and started their league at Oak Creek only to be limited to playing there because the course was bitten by a bad soil decision, therefore shutting their new course down for an entire year. That same year, the Bowie course was playable. The entire season, John and the superintendent knew the right formula. The greens are always in good shape. It's the cosmetics of the cart path, tree roots, not enough grass along the path. This is because the seniors drive where they please. Instead of complaining and leaving, I wish the ladies' league would have pitched in and assisted in making the clubhouse a nicer, more appealing place to relax and congregate after their rounds. Also, I'm sure there are plenty of vocation guys that could offer their services before the place gets worse. Hence, this decision as to what to do. Since it costs money to renovate, etc., my suggestions would be, I believe we need more recreation in Bowie than housing. If this property is going to be used for housing, I would consider senior assisted living before family townhomes and/or apartments. What's the demand? With the closing of Glendale Golf Course, Buoy will get most of the overflow as it already has. I would charge more for greens fees. It's fairly cheap to play. Certainly golfers can afford a few more dollars. Rope off the areas around the course to keep the carts off to allow the new seated patch spots to take hold. This has not been enforced. Again, cosmetic, but a need. The greens are in good shape. Advertise and hire a female pro to entice younger golfers to the course for an experience they may not have even thought of. Make it affordable in case a family has 2 or 3 kids. Advertise the scheduled leagues currently playing in hopes of growing them. Again, I believe Bowie needs more recreation. The decision on the ice rink was costly. Canceling that far along monetarily costs more than taxpayers should have to pay. And the 2-rink approved contract for competitive tournaments to come to Bowie and not have our league have to travel was the right way to have created the revenue originally factored into the approval for it. If you have not played golf, please go to Bowie Golf Course and meet John. Have him provide you a lesson and give it a shot. It's a great game to learn, and Bowie is a great place to start. It appears a simple little course, but the greens will challenge you every time. Next one is from Mike Lawler. At a time like we are experiencing, the Bowie Golf Course is a gift from God. John Hoover has done a great job managing the course. I am a member of the Senior League and look forward to the health benefits and the camaraderie of my fellow competitors. Please keep this course open. The next one is from Delegate Geraldine Valentino Smith, District 23A. To the Honorable Mayor and members of the Bowie City Council. First, I would like to commend all of you on your handling of the COVID-19 pandemic and keeping the functions of the city government running without interruption. I would also be remiss in not recognizing the work that so many of you have done to have peaceful expressions of support and empathy in the wake of the death of Mr. George Floyd. I am reaching out because I have received overwhelming feedback from our combined constituencies concerning the future of the Bowie Golf Course and its management. As you are aware, our residents are very concerned about overdevelopment in the city and the possible loss of our community feel, charm, and open space. In addition, though we have worked together to improve transportation and relieve some of the traffic congestion in the area, our citizens actively engage when both change and development rumors begin to swirl. Accordingly, many are concerned about the future of the Bowie Golf Course. The Bowie Golf Course serves as a unique community benefit that has been serving our families, seniors, and youth for as long as I can remember. When the original owners were approached by a developer, they gave the city the opportunity to match that offer. Those owners knew the community well and understood that this property should remain as an open space. The residents confirmed that by referendum and the city purchased the property. The 20-year bond was paid off without using taxpayer dollars by the group that is currently managing the property. It has been a great deal for the city and our residents. My family, neighbors, and friends have been using the course for over 40 years. My husband and his friends can remember as kids riding their bikes to the course and playing all day. I personally have spent many days dropping off carloads of youth who were always welcome to golf for free as residents of Bowie. In addition to all of the locals that call the course home, we are fortunate to have golfers from all over the region that come here to play. If you look at the license plates in the parking lot, we have golfers from Virginia and the District of Columbia, as well as those that come from many locations throughout Maryland. Our local golf course has tremendous future potential in the face of the failure of closure of so many other courses. The other constant to the course is the management of John Hoover. John is the face of Bowie Golf and why so many people come back to play year after year. Over the years, I have heard stories from my husband, children, and friends about the character that John has and his dedication to Bowie and growing the game of golf. John gives a considerable amount of time to ensuring that our local youth have a home at the course, which encourages a lifetime of love for the game. He provides unique personal attention to all of our citizens. Our residents feel a sense of home at the course and are not treated as just customers. I recognize that in the coming months, you will be evaluating the future of the course, its improvement needs, and continued management. As you deliberate, I want to share with you the many local voices that have contacted me seeking advocacy and assistance in assuring that the city maintain ownership, oversight, and local management with John Hoover at the helm. Thank you in advance for your kind consideration of my recommendations. The next one is from Lou Polak of Yarland Lane. As a great golf course should be interesting, beautiful, a challenge, depending on what tee box you use, and add beauty and value to the community. That is Bowie Golf Course. I have lived in Bowie 54 years, and I started playing golf at 40 and took lessons from Fred Ryder, the manager at that time. Here are my suggestions for renewal of the lease is to fix the cart paths. A sprinkler system is needed, and leave the clubhouse as is, except the bathrooms and kitchen needs an upgrade. This is not a country club like Rendition or Lake Presidential. Plus, Bowie has more rounds of golf played than either of them. Than either of them. The land has increased in value from the time it opened around 1959 and sold to the city in 1981 to now, and will increase further every year, as you all know. Extend the lease for 10 years or 20 years, then make a determination on the future of golf. As long as there is a Tiger Woods or Phil Mickelson, their replacement golf will be around long after we are long gone. I have played every public course in Maryland, some private and many military golf courses, and I enjoy Bowie Golf Course the most. Next one is from Chris Payne. I am writing to express support for the Bowie Golf Course to continue under its current management. As an occasional player of the course, it is a valuable and affordable amenity and is distinguished from many other local courses by its community feeling, passionate member base, pragmatic management, and diverse customer base. There are many other courses that offer a more high-end experience, but fall short in the delivery of the product. I understand the current management team proposes relatively inexpensive capital improvements that will keep the course in a viable playing condition for years to come with limited expense to the city. I support this proposal. Thank you. Next one is from Dave Stewart. I'm writing concerning rumor the city is contemplating closing out the golf course. I hope this is not true. I and many of my friends play there 3 to 4 times a week. The course is well run by John Hoover and his team. I've lived in Bowie for over 40 years and can't imagine turning out course into more housing. All cities change over time, and I've seen plenty, but not all changes are for the better. We older residents need the golf course both for health and recreation. Please help us old folks keep our minds and bodies sharp. Next one is from Mary Romanelli. Dear City Council members, I would like to express my support for keeping the Bowie Golf Course as open green space land. I am an original owner in Bowie and have seen too much development and increased traffic in my time here. Bowie has grown big enough and is losing its family feel. Please keep the golf course. Next one is from Kristen Bear. Dear Bowie City Council, I am very pleased to hear about secured funding specifically identified for pre-K in our neighboring community. Access to quality early childhood education programming is a mission focus for St. Matthew's EEC and has been for over 55 years in the Bowie community. Are there plans for additional collaboration with the already established organizations within our current Bowie community? Holy Trinity, St. Pius, Cornerstone Academy, the Children's Center, and St. Matthew's EEC are just a few of the dedicated educational programs that offer pre-K in Bowie that have been serving this community for decades. I look forward to working with our city's leadership on developing inclusive plans that will strengthen the early educational programming in our community to better serve Bowie residents. And last one is from Sandy Milligan, Program Director, XL Golf. To all parties associated with the Bowie Country Club, it is with the most ultimate appreciation I share this letter of recognition with you. Because of the indulgence and support of John Hoover and the Bowie Country Club, our involvement in the community and pride of existence continue. Our story extends some 12 years back with other golf courses who have since closed or repositioned. And as we continue to try and extend opportunity to our youth through golf, Bowie Country Club remains the only constant.
Great. Thanks so much, Lord. I really appreciate you reading all those letters. Now moving to council announcements. Do any members have anything at this point? All right, hearing nothing from members, we'll move on to the city manager's report. Mr. City Manager, do you have anything?
There's no report from the city manager this evening.
So much. All right, moving to new business. Item A, the Bowie Golf Course. At this time, the floor is now yours, Mr. Carrington, Mr. Hoover. Thank you guys for council today.
Well, thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor, and other council members. We'd like to thank you for this opportunity to speak to you about the future of Bowie Golf. We were, flabbergasted by the amount of letters that came in support. As you can see, the community is really for the golf course, and we hope our presentation today will give you a good background and a future of what we expect for the Bowie Golf Course. I'd like to also introduce Mr. John Hoover, who is also on this call with us, and he is a general manager and will be the head of Bowie Golf Management in the future. So I think we can just start off with the presentation. Out of respect for your time, I'll try to go quickly. I'm ready when you are, Mr. Mendez.
Okay, 1 second, let me just share my screen here.
And while we're waiting for that, I would just like to take a point of personal privilege to thank all of you for the work that you've done in the city of Bowie during the pandemic and also during the social unrest our nation has experienced. We greatly appreciate all of your efforts, and Mr. Mayor, to you personally, my condolences to you and your family.
Thank you so very much for that. I appreciate that.
Okay, looks like we're up.
Yep.
Okay, so this is about the future of Bowie Golf, and we're going to actually have some pictures. I'm going to have Mr. Hoover kind of go through each one of them and tell you what it is and where it is right now. So we are going to go over the history, the lease agreements, the consultant reports, and of course the future. And we'll start out with the pictures of the Bowie Golf Course. So I guess we can go to slide number 3, which is hole number 18. And John, or can you hear us?
I can hear you guys.
Okay,
Can you hear
great.
me?
I can hear you. Can everyone else hear John?
Yep, you are good to go, John.
Okay, great. So John, why don't you begin with hole number 18?
Well, this is hole 18, probably back around when the city bought the golf course. There's no cart pass over on 15 to our left. So it's got to be in the early 80s or the late 70s. But as you can see, there's hardly any trees on the golf course. The ones over to the left and to the right are like the original trees on the golf course. We planted about 10,000 or more back in the early 80s. I'll show you another picture in a few minutes of the golf course from the top.
Okay, next slide, please.
That's hole number 12. I think that's one of the original elm trees, maybe, that was planted back with the historic house or sometime back in the 1800s. But that's looking out into the field where the possible gym would be built. But right now you can't even see that with the amount of trees that are out there. Go ahead. This is off the deck out to number 9 fairway. Again, this is probably early 90s after we started planting trees. And you got to remember, well, you can't remember, but the golf course had no trees on it. You could stand on this porch and see about every single hole. It was an old farm with no trees. Now we have probably too many trees. But go ahead, next one. That's the one along the road. Again, shows the size of the trees or the lack of the trees that we had probably back in the mid 80s, late 80s.
Next
Go
slide,
ahead.
please.
And that is me hitting a wooden club. So that has to be back from the early 80s. That's looking back into the field towards 197. Again, the flagpole's still here. But you cannot see any of that field back in the background. And that's possibly where the new gym or the basketball court might go.
Okay, great.
Yep, I think that's it for the pictures.
Okay, great. Thank you, John. Next slide is basically how do we get here? And so what we're going to talk about is basically the history of the course and how these lease agreements came into play. So next slide, please. So back in 1981, the owners of the course were approached by developers who wanted to make an offer to purchase the course, and they were going to develop it into houses. I believe it was like 140 or 160 or so that were proposed. The owners at that time went to the city and gave them the option of matching the offer to keep it as an open space, knowing the character of this community and what they really wanted. The city of Buoy did a referendum. It passed, and the city put out a bond to purchase a golf course. The city purchased a 20-year bond with the understanding that the Bowie Golf Management Group, at the time it was Fred Ryder Enterprises, would make the bond payments from the proceeds from managing the golf course. So the city and Bowie Golf Management entered into a 20-year lease agreement. And at the time, Bowie Golf Management invested about $500,000 for the irrigation system and other items that are currently in use right now. Next slide, please. In 2001, the bond was, after 20 years, the bond was paid off in full per the lease agreement. The city of Bowie now then becomes the owner of an asset that was paid for by the proceeds of the management and direction of Bowie Golf Management. And due to that successful partnership, the city of Bowie extended the lease agreement for 10 years with 2 successive 5-year options. And those 2 5-year extensions were a period in which Bowie Golf Management would be in a transition between the older owners and John Hoover. And so John Hoover became an assistant PGA golf pro for Bowie at that time in 2001. And they made, the management group made significant improvements to the property, including paving the parking lot, the cart paths. They put out that outdoor pavilion that's widely used, and clubhouse extensions to the original clubhouse that was actually a farmhouse from the 1800s. Next slide, please. And speaking of the grooming of John Hoover, we'll talk about, just briefly, some of his accomplishments in his career. So in 1995, he became a member of the Professional Golfers Associates of America. He recently just celebrated his 25th year as being a member of the PGA. He became the general manager in charge of all the day-to-day operations back in the early 2000s. He was responsible for shaping the course design, including identification and planning of all the trees that line the course that you see today. John was actually instrumental in actually grabbing the trees from one field and bringing them and actually planting them where they are today. Having come through junior golf, John was very instrumental in establishing the first tee program, and we continue to have clinics and children at the golf course all the time. And for Buoy children, they get to play for free. John won his first ever PGA Tour event by shooting 66 and beating the former Maryland golf coach and current Champions Tour professional Fred Funk by 1 stroke at Glendale. Quite an accomplishment. And he also holds the course record at Buoy with a 61 and held the record at renditions for over 8 years, shooting a -765. And for someone who plays golf as well, that's just phenomenal knowing that course. And I can see why the record lasted as long as it did. Next slide, please. In 2011, the city and Bowie Golf Management exercised the first of the 2 5-year lease option extensions. So when we got to 2016, we're now in that second 5-year extension, and that ends in 2021, which is what brings us here today. The Bowie Golf Management owners began their retirements. Some have passed away, and deciding on their exit strategies to leave the management group to John Hoover. So both the city and Bowie Golf Management over the past few years have been discussing the needs and repairs for improvements of the golf course. And in 2012, John became the general manager and also became the head PGA golf professional for the course. Next slide, please. And as I said, in 2016, we started the second of the 5-year extension that was initiated. They started their plans to transition to John and for the city of Bowie. We know that there are certain repairs that are necessary for the future of the course, which been discussed on various occasions, but we haven't actually consummated a plan to put everything in place. And so we realized that the irrigation system has begun failing, and so its useful life has expired, probably 10 years ago, because the system is about 40 years old at this place. And of course, the clubhouse has some, has a lot of wear, and there are some structural things that we need to do for that as well. The next slide. And now we want to get into the consulting report that was done, I guess it's almost 2 years ago now. And basically the question that's been on a lot of people's mind is, where did this $12 million come from? Do we need to spend $12 million a day to make Buoy viable? And the answer is unequivocally no. So next slide, please. The course management design firm that the city hired, they gave a report to the city, and they gave a renovation cost of about $12 million. And that was a new clubhouse, expanding the driving range, reconfiguration of certain holes, which we really don't believe was a really good idea. Obviously, some cart path repair. The irrigation system certainly needs attention, and it needs immediate attention. They also recommended that the city enter into a contract with the management firm, which would be at a cost of about $300,000 a year, and then some type of a revenue sharing plan that would be in the management firm's favor. And of course, if there were any shortfalls, that would be up to the city of Bowie and its taxpayers to make up the shortfalls. And the city would, of course, lose the local partnership and the community feel that the course has right now under Bowie Golf Management. Next slide, please. What is really needed now? Again, we keep talking about the irrigation system. It's nearly 40 years old and well past its useful life. I believe it's one of only 3 such systems still in operation on the East Coast. Most are computerized. And it's also, will also save in labor costs as well, because currently, we have a system in which we have to have kids literally take hoses out and attach them to a thing and run and then move the hose to another hole. And that is very, very labor intensive. With respect to the clubhouse, it's very old and it needs repair, but this can certainly wait. We don't need a new clubhouse today. The temporary bathrooms have actually been well received and have been a hit, so we have no issues there. And of course, once the economy recovers, we have already spoken with members of our state delegation to talk about things that we may be able to do to offset the costs for the city by some bond bills. So, and the other thing, of course, is maintenance and upkeep. And the city has been really good partners over the past several years in working with the Bowie management group and our maintenance staff to keep up with the course and keep it in good shape. So brings us to the future. Next slide, please, which will bring us to the future of Bowie Golf Management and what John Hoover and his vision for Bowie Golf is. Next slide, please. So basically, the city has 3 options. The first, which would be our recommendation, which is to retain Bowie Golf Management with John Hoover as the owner-operator. He's run this course for over 40 years. He's very popular with the members and the guests. He's established and developed model programs for youth golf, and quite frankly, no one has a passion for Bowie Golf that John does. John, people always come there and say, do you live here? And he's like, pretty much yes. I mean, John is there 90+ hours some weeks. So he really cares about what he does. One of the other options that the city has would be to contract with an outside management group, which is going to be unfamiliar with the city of Bowie. The cost will be prohibitive to the city. Of course, you get the loss of the local Bowie community feel. And with the way golf courses and golf management companies have been in flux over the last 10, 15 years, there is no certainty that this management firm will be around in the future, and then what will happen to the city if that management company fails. The city of Bowie could also take over the management itself and operate the course for itself, but we have found around the country municipal corporations have shied away from that. And of course, the last option is, they could also sell you could also sell the property for development. Next slide, please. In terms of the economics, we look at the fact that the Bowie Golf Management Group has given the city an asset worth about $12 million with no cost to the taxpayer. That's really important. The consultant report stated that $1.9 million would be needed annually for the city and/or that management group to take over operations for the golf course, and the city would stand to lose $700,000 to $1 million a year based upon that type of analysis. Bowie Golf Management has paid the city of Bowie well over $4 million in fees and taxes and other payments over the last 40 years. Bowie Golf Management Group and the Bowie Golf has benefited from additional rounds of golf due to the closure of 3 courses in the last few years, and that's Glendale, Patuxent, and Cross Creek. And in addition to that, the Upper Marlboro and Marlton have also both gone down, and before that, Lake Arbor. So we have lost probably in the last 5 or 6 years, there's been about 8 or 9 courses that are no longer operational, which benefits, of course, additional rounds that we have seen year over year at Bowie. And of course, the city of Bowie would have to pay a management company somewhere in the neighborhood of $300,000, which is the going rate in the research that we have done, plus $12 million in the upfront renovations, in addition to the $1.9 million that they'll have to pay every year and the, shouldn't say startup costs, but an actual operational costs. So next slide, please. I think that we've heard from, the 83 letters that we've gotten in as to what the people want. Next slide, please. I'm sorry. Ms. Hernandez? Oh, the one before that. Great, thank you. And so what people want. Residents have already passed a referendum to keep the course as an open space, and I think that, we all know the residents' attitudes in Bowie about development and the like. Without the course, maglev may have gained more traction, momentum, and being built through our city. Non-residential use of the course increases ancillary business opportunities for the Bowie business community. John Hoover has estimated that we've probably had somewhere in the neighborhood of over 1 million people in the last 30 years or so that have come through the golf course. And of course, those folks buy gas here in the city of Bowie. They eat. They'll come back with, with the other family members to take advantage of some of our other amenities. So that is something that, we want to do, is to see other folks come into the city and spend their money with us and with our businesses. And with only a minimal investment, Bowie Golf will be here for future generations. And of course, the Bowie Golf Management Group is eager to work closely with the city, continue the improvements to the grounds and the facilities. I think that, over the last year and a half or so, Mr. Hoover and I have met with Mr. Lott and Mr. Mears to discuss the future and some of the things that we want to do. And we believe that, we can work very, very well with them as we move forward. So the last slide is just the contact information for John and myself. Please feel free to call us or email if you have specific questions. But of course, we wanted to leave time now for the council and staff if they have any questions for us. And I want to, again, thank you all for your time and allowing us to present on this very important matter we feel for the city of Bowie.
Thank you so much, Mr. Carrington and Mr. Hoover, for your presentation today. At this time, if any members have any questions, comments, I'm going to go for order.
My apologies for the dogs.
No problem. We'll start with the councilman from District 1, Councilman Steph.
Hey, thanks, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Appreciate the presentation, Daryl and John. We're not making any decisions tonight, so for anyone sitting at home worried about us turning this into a trash dump or selling it to a sludge factory or something awful, not the plan, never been the plan. The city was approached, I believe 2 or 3 years ago, by an interested party who wanted to acquire the golf course. They received an emphatic no from staff. It didn't even make it to the council at the time. There was just no interest in selling it. I've spoken to all my colleagues. There remains no interest in selling this. So for everyone in District 1 and 2 is in a panic about the future of the course, it will not be sold. The decision we have to make is related to the contract that we have, the lease with the management company that's been running the course for us. As we heard from the comments tonight, there's a great deal of support for John in the current management structure, with maybe some changes, accommodating things that we'll have to do, investments we'll have to make to keep the course running. But that's kind of the scope of the conversation. So we're not planning on selling it. The scope of the conversation moving forward as we reach the end of this particular lease agreement is just going to be, what investments do we make, when do we make them, and what is the corporate or legal arrangement going to look like with the folks who run this on our behalf. So just want to be clear about that. The only questions that I have for Daryl, John, and staff are, in your view, what is the strategy moving forward that gets the course to profitability as quickly as possible, without also, severely alienating or harming, the users who've come to find this facility, friendly to people who are looking to golf, at a relatively moderate rate? What's the strategy for that?
Thank you for the question, Councilman Estes. I would like to actually let John talk about the economics, because we've actually had profitability, and I believe that we will have great profitability in the future. John, would you please take that?
Yeah. Last year, this year, currently, we're going to be running back on a profit. So things are definitely up. We're selling every tee time we have every day. It's kind of like the perfect storm right now with Glendale closing, the pandemic. People are working from home and they're cheating and coming out and golfing, so things are up. The golf course is in the best shape it's been in a long time, and that's with the help from the city the last couple of years with throwing a couple dollars towards the golf course. And I think from here on out, profitability is going to be back to where it should be.
Okay, so it sounds like you're heading back towards profitability, and it
Yes.
sounds like we're crediting this largely to increased usership. I know you don't necessarily have like a ton of data available, but how much of the new usership would you say is the result of the pandemic versus Glendale closing? Do you have like a rough guesstimate anecdotally based on the conversations you're having, John?
I wish I could tell you. I don't know. I guess once this pandemic's over, and people start going back to work and things get back to normal, then we'll find out. But a lot of it has to do with Glendale closing, because a lot of the golfers that are coming over here have been from Glendale.
Yeah, when our management firm gave us their presentation a few years ago, they argued, and this was, well before the COVID-19 was just a gleam in some Chinese bat's eye. They basically said that, with the anticipated closure of nearby golf courses, that alone would be a major boon for Bowie, as we'd continue to see this trend of consolidation in the market. So I'm sure the pandemic probably isn't hurting right now, how you guys are doing, but I'm confident enough from the numbers that I've seen before that your continued success will most likely outlive the pandemic.
Yes.
And so that gives me some reason for optimism. So I'm happy about that. Those are really the main things that I have. For me, my priority is just making sure we can get you guys to a better place, making money, making the city money, and keeping users pretty happy. Real quick, you mentioned in your presentation kind of the more straightforward investments the course would need in the short term. What do you envision the major capital expenses or capital investments being, over the next 10 years? Like, what's an ideal situation for you guys?
Well, we definitely need that irrigation system. That's the bloodline of the golf course. I think that runs somewhere in the $1 to $1.4 million. The clubhouse needs work. I don't know. They did a couple studies where brought a company down from Boston that would tell them how much was needed to be invested in the term the clubhouse could last. I believe the old house, the house that was built 300 years ago, needs about $200,000 in money to get to, so we can open that and the bathrooms back up. The rest of it, I don't know. The cart pass, some trees still got to come down around the cart pass. We've been doing that in home, and some of the money that the city's been giving us, we've been using to take some of those trees down. Of course, when I was planting them, we weren't thinking when we were planting a 2-foot tree that it would be 80 feet tall in 40 years, and we'd be cutting them down and they'd be ruining the cart pass. But that's what they did. The parts of the cart pass that didn't have any trees around them are perfect. So the cart pass don't need to be 100% done. Probably 60 or 70% of the cart pass are fine. That's probably another couple $100,000. Then there's some greens drainage that you guys started. It was 15,000 a green. I think we've gotten 6 greens done, so there's another 13 to go at 15,000. The $4 million that the Bowie Golf Management's given the city in the last 35 years is probably a good starting point to work there. And I've mentioned that a couple times to Daniel and Alfred, and the comment is, the money's already been spent. But the way I look at it is, the golf course, you put $4 million into it, and the golf course still has basically sustained itself, and it's been no burden to the city of Bowie. So I think somewhere in that category you could probably start.
And let me also add, if I might, one of the other things too that we're going to try to take advantage of is the fact that that is a historical building, the farmhouse itself, and to try to see if we can do some work with the Historical Society and see if we can shake some dollars free in that regard as well. So we'll always try to be entrepreneurial in terms of finding other resources to augment what the city may be able to do.
Got to shake that Dollar Tree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, in fairness to you guys, I mean, you're operating, a fairly low rate, low in terms of rate cost to your users. Course, it is intended to be like a lot of our other facilities, a public amenity. And in fairness to you guys, typical city public amenities are losing, more than half of their operating costs. We're not making it back. So you guys are doing well. And it sounds like, just rough guesstimate, we're looking at, $3 million of investments, really just for most of the stuff that you really need. And then a lot of it after that's just aesthetic. And, that's in city of Bowie recreation dollars and in public recreation dollars generally, that's a pretty affordable menu. And I'm pretty confident we can work with that. And if that, helps you guys get back to a place where you're making even more money and generating even more dollars for the city, then, we're looking at a place where we can definitely pay off those investments over time, which would be, really good when compared to how we're doing with, the gym, the senior center, and the other amenities that we're offering right now. So those are the only questions I have. Really appreciate your time tonight. Really appreciate your continued good work with the course. And we will, I'm sure, talk more in the near future.
Thank you, Councilman. We really appreciate your comments.
Thank you, Councilman.
Michael, that is what we want to do here. We want the golf course to not be a burden on the city and to be able to pay for itself. So over the next 30 or 40 years, with the monies given back to the city through whatever agreements we make, I know we won't be here at that time. I mean, I won't. I'll be long gone to the big golf course in the sky. But I mean, it's we can manage this golf course and make it so that it's not a burden to the city. I know when I talked with Alfred a few times, he came from a city in Georgia where he said he had a golf course, and they just had to put $500,000 a year towards the operation of the golf course. That becomes a burden to the city. 10 years down the road, you put $5 million in just for operations. We here at Bowie Golf Management have been able to operate the golf course mostly on a profit, while even giving the city their cut through most of the time. We had a little bit of a struggle here in the last 10 years, but things are coming back, and I think we can get back to doing what we were doing the first 30 years or so.
And that's also something very important that John says. I mean, we do see ourselves as a city park as well, as one of those amenities. So, we do appreciate the thought that as a city park, we really are budget conscious.
All right, thank you so much, Michael. Councilman DeFore Wolfley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Appreciate the time. First of all, I want to start off by sharing with the community, I think, and just reiterating what Councilman Estev said, which is the intent is not to sell this property. I am adamantly opposed to the sale of this. I don't think there's ever been a serious discussion about that, and people should put their minds at ease that that's not the direction that we're looking to go in. So that's the first most important part. We have to remember this property was acquired to prevent development. There was a referendum to that effect, and in my mind, that's where it needs to continue to be, and don't expect there to be any houses there anytime ever. The next thing I want to make a comment is I want to thank Al and the staff at the city for their efforts in the last couple of years. I know that, Al, you've seen to it that there have been monies in the budget for the last several years, and I know that our staff has been working there as well to take care of any number of things that have needed attention, and I know working with Mr. Hoover, that's been very beneficial to the course. So I want to thank you, Al, and all the staff, Parks and Grounds, that have been working on that for us. I'd also like to thank Bowie Golf Management for what amounts to 40 years of service to the community. This is one of those wonderful, rare, albeit, but nonetheless wonderful public-private partnerships where we ended up with an asset that's worth $12 million that the city didn't have to pay for, that the amenity and the Bowie Golf Management and its precursor form paid for. And then I add to that, we had another $4 million in revenue. So you're talking about $16 million on the plus side for that. And I think there comes a point at a certain point in time, we have to think that we have to make sure we maintain the investments on this. So I think that this, we're going in the right direction. I think this presentation kind of highlights, what we need to do. Having played there, and actually you mentioned, John, about the course being the best shape ever, it's probably because I haven't been playing there lately, because the times that I play, the course really takes a beating, and so it's probably just my keeping off of it that's taken to the improvement. Can be crediting the improvements. Nonetheless, the place is improving, and I think that's important. The irrigation system, I think your point is well taken. It's lifeblood, and we need to maintain that, replace it with something contemporary. The clubhouse as well, my personal feeling is that it's an old building, but not necessarily historically significant. So there may be more latitude with replacing that altogether. There may be some opportunities to provide something for the users that is more consistent with the need of a golf course. Truly a clubhouse that is designed for that purpose. Paths, I'm glad to hear. I've rattled a few bones on that cart path from time to time, although frankly I rarely seem to be near the cart path unless my ball is somewhere else. And I would say the green work, I think that's good to hear as well. So as we're going forward, my vision for the golf course is that it's a community golf course, and it's not a Taj Mahal. We're not trying to turn it into some kind of East Coast draw where you got golfers coming in for some high-end rounds of golf. This is something it's not the hardest course, not the easiest, but it's accessible for all players, and I think that's what we need to maintain going forward. So I think as we're working with staff and Mr. Hoover and your organization, I think we need to keep that in mind and work out some sort of an arrangement where we maintain that sort of vision. So once again, thank you very much. Very much supportive of keeping this amenity, a great asset to the community that it has been. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now the floor is Councilwoman Debbie Wise.
Thank you so much. Thanks for everyone for just, putting together this presentation. Thanks, Daryl, for coming out tonight, and thanks, John. I had the pleasure of meeting with you a couple of weeks ago, and you gave me, kind of like a tour and just a breakdown of how everything's been going in the history, and I got an opportunity to witness firsthand how much so many residents actually love the facility and how much they were enjoying themselves during COVID. So that was just honestly a pleasure to watch and a pleasure to see how everyone addressed you by name, how everyone felt really comfortable with you, how everyone kind of felt like they were just being taken care of. And this was this hub where the community could just come and really enjoy themselves. So it was a pleasure watching that. So I appreciate you coming out tonight and putting together this presentation and bringing this to the forefront. Like all of my other council members have said, I can't say that there's no interest in selling this facility at all. There's been no discussion of that. So I just want to dispel those myths for anybody that's watching, especially in District 4. There has been no absolute discussion on that, and that's not the interest here. I think most of our goals is really to provide a working facility for the residents, specifically focusing on the irrigation system like you've talked about tonight, and then seeing later on down the line, what do we need to do to get this clubhouse to a place where, people truly feel comfortable, kind of sitting there and enjoying a meal, as well as the restrooms. I know people are happy with it temporarily, but later on down the line in 10 years, what does that need to look like for people to feel comfortable, since they are spending a significant amount of hours there. So I'm really appreciative of city staff, my council members, as well as the team for, doing such a great job with this course. What I'd like to see going forward, which is, kind of what you're already doing, maybe if there is a plan or something a little bit more structured to send over to us in terms of what exactly, like, from, you have it kind of laid out here. It touches on it a little bit, but not fully. But what exactly do you need? Like, what exactly is the focus? You talked about the irrigation system. So that's going to be number one, the cost associated with it. What do you think, Daryl and John, what do you think that you can focus on, and where do you need the city's help there in terms of us and the money? So that's kind of like what I'd like to see a more detailed breakdown around, like, what do you need? And also, from your perspective as the management, what is your 10-year plan? Like, what does that look like laid out in terms of how you plan on getting there, how you plan on getting to this place where you're generating, a significant amount of revenue? How do you plan to get there? So I'd like to see just two things: the breakdown on the finances of what you actually need and what's your role in that, and what do you want the city's role to be in that, as well as what is your 10-year plan strategically, like, kind of like really laid out, so that we can understand what our role in it is and how we can help you get there.
Well, Councilwoman, thank you very much. And first of all, thank you for coming out to the course. It was a pleasant surprise. And I didn't even realize you were there when I was on number 12 hitting that shot. So you really got to see us in our full regalia and really enjoying ourselves. And what you saw is exactly what happens at the Bowie Golf Course every single day of the week. It's lots of folks, and everyone knows John by name. So if you'll give us a couple of weeks, what we'll do is we'll put together this and we'll get it to the city manager and ensure that he gets it to all of you.
Of course, thank you. And I'll have you know, after I saw it, I went out and bought some golf clubs. So I'm excited to join.
Oh, that is excellent. I look forward to losing balls in the woods with you in the near future.
Be out there and making sure things are going well.
Thanks again, Councilwoman.
Thank you.
All right, next up will be Councilman Henri Gardner.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Broadfoot. Thank you very much. Daryl John. Hello, Daryl, DC. Hadn't seen my buddy in a while. I have to see you doing it.
Councilman, it's always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure. Look, I have to have a hearing in order to see my buddy Daryl. Hey, John, you couldn't have a better guy working with you than Daryl Carrington. I'm sure you are aware of that.
I know that.
Okay. Hey, I do have a question. I wanted to look at some of the revenue side of things, and I know first I wanted to start, and Daryl and I have had some conversations about this in the past, to where I remain dedicated and supportive of the golf course, and it is imperative that we keep that as a course and nothing more but a course, a golf course, with entertainment that is, of course, identified when you typically go to such venues. But I have a question for you both, John and Daryl. To increase revenue, is it at all possible to maybe, and I don't know if you guys are interested in doing such, if it's a possibility, but perhaps putting some slot machines there at the golf course? I understand that there are several thousand slot machines, in fact, that were at some of the casinos throughout the state that were put in storage to make room for table games. And as a result of that, I know that there were some talks about maybe like some of the FOPs or the VFW halls having some slot machines, and I don't know if golf courses were included, but I thought maybe a few slot machines would just help generate some additional revenue. Not like Councilmember Wolfley said, we're not talking about making it the Taj Mahal, for instance. We don't want to have a casino there, but maybe, 10, 15, 20 slot machines to generate some revenue. I just thought of that. Yes.
Well, Councilman Gardner, thank you very much for that question. As a matter of fact, we're willing to look at any type of revenue generators for the course, and certainly, people who use the course would certainly probably enjoy having the opportunity to play some slots. That'll be, something that, we would need our state partners to help us with language and the like. As I would imagine, some of the existing video lottery terminal operators may not be so enthusiastic about allowing us to have slots at the golf course.
Exactly.
However, I think in a very limited case, especially because this is a public-private partnership between the city owning the course and of course, us as a management group. So perhaps, because it would be so narrowly focused to only like maybe municipal-owned facilities or something.
Correct.
We should certainly have those conversations.
It's worth exploring, you know? Yeah, and like you're absolutely right.
I think it's an outstanding idea.
Yes, I would love to see you guys explore that as a possibility to generate some revenues for the course. And you're right, I could imagine some of our casinos and some of the other guys around here may not like to see those slot machines in golf courses, but you're right, setting the criteria to where it's a public-private partnership and maybe only identifying those or having legislation written to identify those golf courses that are owned and operated by municipalities to help offset some of those costs. It could be something worth exploring. And I know you're the man to make it happen. So, but thank you all for such a fine presentation, and I look forward to continuing to work with the golf course as it is today. Thank you
Well,
both.
thank you again. Thank you for all of your support over the years.
Always, always. Thank you, sir.
All right, now the floor is Councilwoman Harrison's.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Boafo, and I will just make some very brief comments. Hello, Daryl, and hello, John. Good to see you both. And
How are you?
good to see you. And I know I just saw you about a month ago on your beautiful golf course, and I appreciate the tour. And as I stated then, yes, and as I stated then and state wholeheartedly now, you have my full support. It's a beautiful place, and I certainly look forward to working with you both. And thank you so much for your presentation. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Councilwoman. We really appreciate you coming out and spending that much time with us at the course to get to know it and to hear some of the history. So we greatly appreciate your support.
Thank you. So I look forward to getting a ride on a golf cart and watching you guys play.
Look forward to having you back.
All right, cool. Thanks.
All right, I will take a moment of personal privilege here before we allow Mayor Adams to go. Again, John and Daryl, thank you guys for having me out there about a month ago. Such a truly an important facility in our city. And I echo the comments of my colleagues as well, that we're going to do everything we can to ensure that this gets back to profitability, but to also ensure that this does stay a P3 between the city and the current management company. And so, again, thank you guys for coming out today. And you know, good things are going to happen to this golf course in the future, and so I'm excited to be a partner in that. With that being said, Mr. Mayor,
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Hey, Darryl and John, I just want to say thank you for the presentation. Thank you for your support to our community. It's interesting. I guess we can't get the Historical Society to support your irrigation system. So
It's ancient.
So we'll do that. But really, I think you did a good job of presenting, and it really is important that what we have so much when you talk about being able to work with our seniors to our very young, and being able to introduce and them to the game of golf and just the recreation in the area. So the one thing I would say is, John and Daryl, if you find out who started the rumor that we were thinking about selling the course, would you please let us know?
We certainly will.
Having said that, again, thank you so very much. I think I echo everyone's comments. You know, we do want to see how we can prioritize what we're looking at doing. I think you are a true resource, yes, here to the city, and thank you so very much, and I look forward to talking with you more.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
Mayor
Mayor. We
Adams.
greatly appreciate your leadership, sir.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
thank you, Mr. Mayor. All right, John and Daryl, thank you again for coming out. We appreciate you. Do you guys have any final comments?
Great. Thank you all again for your time and attention to this matter for us.
Hey, thank you both.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, now moving on to item B in new business is the adoption of resolution R-5520. I will allow Councilwoman Ndebumadi to introduce her resolution.
Thanks, Mayor Pro Tem Boafo. Thanks for turning things over. So just a bit of background on this resolution and how it kind of came to fruition. With everything that's been going on with across the United States with social unrest and police brutality and just societal injustice, it was really, really important to some of the members of city staff to really incorporate that in our city practices going forward in the terms of how do we respond to these events and how do we move forward and how are we thinking thoughtfully about engaging the conversation, not just with residents, but as well as with city staff, since we have 400 of them. And this is a very important topic and it's a very important times in our lives. So tonight, I bring forth a resolution that focuses on observing Juneteenth in the city of Buoy. And basically what it does is that it observes Juneteenth as a holiday, not a paid holiday, because we wanted to make sure that we were being mindful of the city financially, but making sure that it is observed as a holiday. And during that day, we would work with the diversity committee to engage in a ceremonial event where residents can come out and work with our city council as well as our city staff to truly engage in a thoughtful discussion and just remember and observe the day and the historical significance, as well as use the rest of the day to focus on team building activities amongst our city staff and focusing on learning from each other and understanding different lived experiences and why this day is so important. So I want to turn it over to any of my council members who may have any questions or any thoughts on this resolutions. And I won't shout you out publicly, but you know who you are if you're watching. I want to thank you for bringing this forward to the council and making your concerns known in terms of what we should be doing to make sure that we're observing this wonderful day. So thank you so much to that member of city staff who I worked with.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman. Before we turn it over to members, city staff, do you guys have any comments?
Mayor Pro Tem, this is. I'm sorry. I thought he asked me.
No, I didn't. Unless, May, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I was just going to say that I think on behalf of those staff who brought that forward and also to the councilwoman, I think this is something that's very positive for the city that won't cost us anything, but it also identifies and recognizes some of the issues and those things moving forward. So I commend the city staff as well as the councilwoman for bringing this to our attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. City Manager?
Well, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. The resolution, my comments would be we could certainly implement the proponents of this resolution, and of course, we would support the diversity committee in setting up whatever event that they thought was appropriate, and we could certainly have some training sessions that focus on equality, justice, and diversity within our city. So that we do that anyway, and we could certainly have some special training for that day and team building as the councilwoman mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you so much. At this time, members,
if you don't mind, may I just say one more thing?
absolutely.
City Manager, I want to thank you so much for working with us on this, and want to thank you. So I forgot to add that. So thanks.
All right. At this moment, I will start in same district order. Councilman Esteve, do you have any comments and questions?
Nope, but if we're ready, I'm happy to adopt the resolution.
All right. For the sake of time, do any other members have any questions? All right. At this moment, the chair will entertain a motion.
I would like to move to adopt R-55-20.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any objections? Any discussion? Hearing none, we will call for a vote. This will be a roll call vote. City Clerk?
No, it doesn't have to be roll call.
Councilmember Esteve,
Aye.
Councilmember Wolfley,
Aye.
Councilmember Gardner,
Aye.
Councilmember Harrison,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Buffalo,
Aye.
Mayor Adams.
Aye.
The roll call vote is 7-0. The ayes have it.
All right. Thank you so much. Resolution R-55-20 has officially passed. Moving on to new business item C. Again, another initiative of Councilwoman Debbie Mattis, council rules. Councilwoman.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem Boafo. And just in this, for the sake of time, I'll just talk about this briefly. So essentially, the proposal of council rules is essentially a document that just basically lays out the organization of our how our city council is going to operate and the rules that we're going to abide by, we have put together a document that originated from Prince George's County, from our Prince George's County chair. So I want to give a thanks to him for starting this document, and we've made some slight edits, but I still want to bring this discussion item to the floor to make sure that my colleagues have an appropriate amount of time to view it, comment on it, make their suggested changes, and then going forward so that we can have a set of rules in place since, I think for the last couple of weeks, our council hearings have been a little bit off kilter. So going forward, we have those set rules in place of how we are governing our meetings and how we are processing things as a new council going forward so that we are doing the best that we possibly can for our residents as well as amongst working together with each other.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman. Obviously, this item is up for discussion today, no vote, and it will be on our next agenda item. Do any members have any comments and or questions at this time for the Councilwoman from District 4?
Yes, I do.
Real quick,
Oh.
Mayor Pro Tem. Oh, sorry, I'll defer to Council Member Harrison.
Oh, no, go ahead, Councilmember Stev.
All right, thank you, Council Member. My only two comments, and I've already brought this up with Council Member Ndibu Madu, just mainly make sure that we have an opportunity when we bring this up for a vote down the road for us to go through it, even if we have to do it tediously line by line. A lot of the stuff is pretty much already in our charter. Some of it will require changes. There's a couple of items related to subpoena power that I'm not entirely sure we can necessarily give ourselves. So I would just ask that ahead of our next meeting, we send this to our city attorney for review and then have some time for us to go through it line by line so that we're all on the same page about potential rule changes. Otherwise, I think it's a good idea that we're standardizing rules because there's a lot of ambiguity and gray area in our existing code and charter and a lot of things that are just a matter of tradition rather than actual rule. So I think this is a good idea overall. Just want to make sure that we are thorough in reviewing it, and I really appreciate the council members' initiative on this.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Harrison.
Isn't this a revision of a current document that we have?
It's correct. I stated that up in when I explained it.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said I mentioned that earlier in my introduction.
But yes, I do have some changes, and I wish that you could have redlined where you actually made the changes from the old document to the new document. And yes, we certainly need to go through it line by line, and it definitely needs legal review because there are some very questionable items in there. But thank you.
Just to respond really quickly, so I just want to make sure that everyone understands all of the changes are not exactly, all from me. So, this is a document that I wanted to bring forward for us to go through together with our city manager as well as our city attorney. So this is by no means am I trying to, bring forth this document and have a lack of transparency or anything like that. It's for us to go through together line by line, agree on, and if there are edits, make the edits. And if there are, discussion items that we need to talk about more in depth, then we should talk about them more in depth. But just wanted to make sure that we started the discussion today so that going forward in the next few coming weeks that we do have something that we are setting in stone that this is how we're going to operate by. Thank you.
Any other members with questions?
Yes, Councilmember Gardner. Mayor Pro Tem Brothel, is the city attorney available? I don't know if I have a question. Is she with us today? Miss.
Pro Tem, if I may.
Oh, there she is. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I did tell you I wasn't going to be here, but I am.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Hello, Alyssa. How are you, Madam Attorney? Hey, I have a quick question, just because just administrative question. If we were to make any changes on procedures or anything, I'm sorry, the rules of procedure, will they apply for the existing council or are they for the future council? The changes?
That would be up to the council to decide.
Okay, and my
You could make them, you could make them apply to this council.
Okay, effective immediately. And my other question I wanted to ask you, if we were any changes that do not match up to that or is within the charter, we would have to change the charter as well, correct? I mean, I don't want to lead your.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, I didn't want to lead the question.
You may have to make corresponding changes to both your code and charter, depending. Obviously, I'll need to look through the document more closely, but that may be necessary.
Okay, and then my last question. I know that in the past that some charter changes to the charter require a referendum or to go to the voters. Is that what it's? I don't know. Would we have to do that for any changes here? I don't want to go through all of those sort of process. But I'm asking. I don't know the administrative part of things here. That's why I'm asking. Because
if there were provisions, I'm sorry. If there were provisions in the rules, which I need time to look at, that were in conflict with your charter requiring a charter change, then yes, you do the whole charter amendment resolution process, and that does entail the opportunity for residents to file a petition for referendum. They don't automatically go to referendum. They don't always go to referendum. In fact, I would say that process is relatively rare, but it can happen.
Okay. All right, that's what I want. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Brothel and City Attorney. Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, I think it would be good for us as we look at this as a good outline of how we can conduct our meetings, that we strongly consider going through this as part of our retreat that's coming up. I think how we conduct ourselves in our meetings is so important to how we work together as a council. So I would strongly recommend that this be put on the agenda for our retreat so that we can go through this and we can establish how we want to conduct our meetings. Thank you.
Any other members have any discussion for the good of the order? Hearing none, the chair will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Seconded.
Been moved and properly seconded. Any objections? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Stay
Good night,
healthy and safe, everyone.
City staff, thank you for everything.